The Northern Territory Government is set to overhaul its child protection services. A 10-month inquiry due to report today is expected to confirm that child protection services are fundamentally flawed and a new approach is needed to prevent child abuse and neglect. Michael Coggan reports from Darwin.
This house is the scene of one of the most shocking cases of child neglect recorded in the Northern Territory. In 2007, a 12-year-old girl in foster care died from a treatable leg infection that turned septic. She was found lying in the dirt in this yard. The Territory coroner described the death as appalling and needless, while criticising the Department of Family and Community Services for failing its most basic obligation to protect children. The girl's mother was left waiting for an apology.
Have the decency to come up and apologise to me, talk to me about what's happened.
A separate case involving the starvation death of a 7-week-old baby boy was investigated by the coroner at the same time. The child was found dead in his family's car at Port Wakefield, north of Adelaide, while travelling back to Alice Springs in 2005. Both deaths were assessed as preventable.
We do take responsibility. Those children were in the care of the Minister.
We need a system that is adapted for our particular context, that understands the needs of vulnerable children and families right across this territory.
The Territory Government responded by establishing a child protection inquiry. The inquiry board was due to report in April, but was delayed because the job was much bigger than expected. Now, a total overhaul of the system is on the cards.
We currently use a system that was great in Britain in 1950s and 60s, but it cannot be used here in the Northern Territory, cannot be used in Australia.
The government has been shocked by a significant increase in the number of child abuse notifications in the Territory over the past 5 years. The backlog of notifications has more than doubled to 6,800.
The issue with child protection and child abuse is not a Territory problem only. This is an Australian-wide problem.
85% of the children under protection in the Territory are Aboriginal. To turn this around, a new non-government peak body has been established to help implement the recommendations of the Child Protection Inquiry.
The attempt will be to have policy advice, policy training support and things like that, so that it strengthens the sector that will be largely Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander driven. And I think that's the biggest significant change. If it happens, when it happens, that will be a huge change for the better.
The Territory Government is now testing prevention programs aimed at relieving the mounting pressure on child protection workers. Lisa and her son Reese are helping out with the trial of a new mentoring program for parents currently used by the United Nations in India and Pakistan.
I don't think this one intervention can overcome everything. But what it can focus and help to do is to make a good relationship between the parent and a child from the very beginning.
The Territory Government has promised to recruit 76 more child protection staff. So far, 59 have been employed, mostly from overseas. To overcome significant problems with retaining staff, there's a long-term plan to train more Aboriginal people.
We need more locally educated, locally grown child protection workers, Indigenous people. They know the language, they know the culture, they know the links, they can work out in the communities.
The Territory Government says an all-of-society approach is needed, and it will take a lot of money and at least 5 years to get on top of the current child protection crisis. Michael Coggan, ABC News, Darwin.